Hi, Gerhard Bloom, once again looking at the tyranny of the social justice movement. So you are probably aware by now of the situation in France. Day after day, or I should say night after night, 5 days of riots, looting, absolutely all over France, 2,500 fires have been set, 1,300 cars burned, buildings destroyed and set on fire. Police have been shot and hundreds of police have been injured. And I do not understand for the life of me what the government is doing. Should they send out the police? Send out the police. No, you send out the army. You announce a curfew. You're found on the streets. The presumption is you're a rioter and looter. And I have to be very cautious here because I'm dealing with the fascists who try to censor me time after time. Rioters and looters shall be, and you can fill in the blank. Then the politicians need to be tabling legislation so as to allow them to involuntarily remove participants involved in this and terrorist support out of the country, strip them of their citizenship, send them back to the shithole countries that they come from. Shithole. These are countries where, to relieve yourself, you have to squat over a fly-infested hole in the ground, and they stink. The vast majority of these Muslim immigrants are escaping war-torn, deeply corrupt, and oppressive countries. And this is the gratitude they showed to the French people. And this is not the first time, mass riots and cars being burned. A basic duty of government is to protect the lives and property of its citizens. The basic duty. Garbage collecting, that's well down on the list. This is intolerable. And no, Muslims just are not integrating. They're not integrating in Sweden or Germany, and they're certainly not integrating in France. These people they visit country after country with their poisonous ideology, gender mutilation. A Catholic bishop had his head cut off during Mass in France. A school teacher, a Samuel Paty, an elderly gentleman, a school teacher, he wanted to discuss the freedom of expression in France to his students in school, had his head cut off, and not by ISIS, just by an offended Muslim. And all across Europe, terrorist attacks, violent assaults, Charlie Hebdo, 12 people were shot down in cold blood, and another, I believe, 11 people wounded. And bracketing these terrorist attacks, the rape crisis in Europe, country after country, that Western Europe had been seeing declines in rape over the decades. And after the recent flood of Muslim immigrants, a dramatic rise in rape and gang rapes. I talk about it in my book, and after my book was published, Ayaan Hirsi Ali published her book, a book-length study on this rape crisis in Europe, driven overwhelmingly by Muslim men. They are not integrating. These people represent a threat. Yes, you're involved in rioting and looting in France, out of the country you go. And I don't care what the consequences. Oh, they might get killed if they go back home. Well, then they shouldn't be out rioting and looting in the streets. Should be. Rage is not the appropriate attitude they should be expressing to the people of France. It's gratitude. They should be shutting their mouths and play along with the rest of the French public. Behave themselves, follow French laws. They want to go to the mosque and pray, go to the mosque and pray. Don't generally mutilate your daughter. Don't go about raping people. Don't riot and loot. And please, don't cut the heads off of people for showing a cartoon. This is awful around Europe. And mark my words, there could be very, very dark days ahead, which will make pronouncements of me look like Mr. Rogers. People are fed up, and if the government won't stand up, they will get in a government that will stand in. So, terrible, Terrible. And yes, there are many decent Muslims across the globe. And in Western Europe, North America, they play along. They play along. They behave themselves. That's fine by me. But you step out of line, off you go. Off you go, and take that cloth bag with you. That's also an affront to the dignity of women. And no, I don't. You make it a law that a woman can't wear the dress like the angel of death, and then she gets to escape that tyranny. I don't know how many wear it willfully or how many are coerced. Doesn't matter to me. No. It's offensive, deeply offensive. I don't know if this person is a man under that cloth gown, that cloth bag. I don't know if this guy's got an AK-47 under there. No. Anyways, please check out my book, Deconstructing Social Justice. It's available on Amazon. Not important because I wrote it. I wrote it because the issues could not be more important. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Bye-bye.